Okay, so like croissants, right. Parisian croissants specifically.
Yeah.
And who hasn't thought about like walking down those streets with a perfect croissant?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like the quintessential Paris thing to do. And it's kind of cool how it's not even just about eating it. It's about the whole process, the tradition. Like they really care about making it good.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want just any old croissants for this, right? Our listeners deserve like the best of the best.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've got a ton of guides and like expert opinions to help us find the really good ones. We're talking Time Out Paris, Condé Nast, Traveler Bon Appetit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are some good ones.
Even a blog like dedicated to croissants.
Wow.
Yeah.
They all talk about how important the butter is.
Yeah.
That's the key to an amazing croissant. And they're really serious about their butter in Paris.
Okay, so let's start with Time Out Paris. They chose Des Gâteaux et du Pain as their top pick, and they said it has a regal balance of butter.
Regal balance of butter.
Yeah. Just like that alone makes me want to go to Paris.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where the deep dive comes in. It's not just about using like any butter. A lot of these bakeries get their butter from specific places, known for flavor and like how they make it. Like some use butter from certain parts of France because they have traditional ways of churning it.
Ah.
It's all the little details, Makes it more than just a croissant.
So it's like wine then. There's like a whole thing with where the butter's from and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of like details, our croissant connoisseur, that's what we're calling the blog writer, they say you got to get a real croissant au beurre.
Yep.
That means pure butter, no substitutes. You might see ordinaire, but that means margarine.
Gotcha. So it's au beurre for us.
Yeah.
No margarine allowed on this trip.
Exactly.
Croissant connoisseur raves about blé sucré and says the dough is sweeter. So maybe good for people with a sweet tooth.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a good point. The perfect croissant is kind of up to you.
Yeah.
Some people want that strong buttery taste. Others want a little sweetness. That's the beauty of Paris. They have it all.
I love that. So Condé Nast Traveler is on the same page about the variety. They love du pain et des idées and their escargot croissant.
Those are so good. Imagine a croissant but rolled up like a snail.
Okay.
That's why they call it escargot. And they fill them with all kinds of stuff. Chocolate, pistachio cream.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Stop.
So good.
Our blogger loves that place. They mentioned a walk-up window there too.
Oh, nice.
To avoid lines, which is key.
Smart.
But big warning, they're closed on weekends.
Oh, no.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
First trip, went there, closed.
Rookie mistake, but hey, that's why we're here. To give you the insider tips. Now, while you're in that area, the blogger also suggests Boulangerie Utopie. They're known for their carbon baguette, which is a twist on the classic baguette. Apparently it goes perfectly with their croissants.
Okay, so now we're talking croissant A&D, a unique baguette experience. Sign me up. That's going straight to the top of my list. Okay, we're making a whole croissant itinerary now, but hold on. How do you actually order these things? Like, what do you say?
Oh, good point. You don't want to sound like a total tourist, right?
Right.
So our croissant connoisseur friend, they've got the inside scoop. If you want it perfectly baked, that nice golden brown, you got to ask for bien cuit.
Bien cuit.
Yeah, but if you like it a little softer, then it's pas trop cuit.
Okay, got it. It's like a secret code for pastry lovers.
Exactly. Oh, and another thing, timing. Apparently 9 a.m. is the best time for a fresh, warm croissant.
Makes sense. Catch them while they're hot. Literally.
Exactly. But the blogger also said that going later around 4 p.m. can be good too. Sometimes they have a fresh batch then.
Ooh, afternoon croissant. I like it. Okay, so we've got des gâteaux et du pain, blé sucré, du pain et des idées, and Boulangerie Utopie, Camage. More.
Oh yeah, there's more.
Time Out Paris has more.
Time Out Paris has more. They also really like Laurent Duchesne.
You okay?
Yeah, they have a more classic style croissant. Time Out even said it's the kind of croissant you could have every day and be happy.
Wow, high praise. All right, what about Mamiche? I've heard of that one.
Oh yeah, our resident croissant expert loves that place. They say it's worth the trip, even if it's a bit out of the way.
Okay.
And not just for the croissants. They have sandwiches, cinnamon rolls, babka.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
So Mamiche is like traditional, but also trying new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're pushing the boundaries a bit, but in a good way.
I like that. So recap time. If someone wants the classic Parisian croissant experience, Laurent Duchesne seems like the move. But for the more adventurous types, Mamiche it is.
Exactly. Now, if you really want to go off the beaten path,
Okay, hit me.
our croissant connoisseur found a hidden gem.
Boris Loom.
Boris Loom.
Okay.
They said it's perfection. The perfect amount of butter, incredibly soft inside.
Perfection. That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
Gotta be good.
Yeah.
All right, Boris Loom. I'm adding it to the list. Oh, what about Jan Couvreur? I feel like we haven't talked about that yet.
Jan Couvreur is interesting. They've got a huge following for their super flaky croissants.
Okay.
One of our sources even said it's the most amazing flaky croissant in all of Paris.
Most amazing flaky. All right, you got to tell me more. What makes their croissant so special?
Well, Jan Couvreur uses this slow fermentation process,
Okay.
which makes the croissants super light and airy.
Interesting.
And they definitely don't hold back on the butter either. You can taste it.
Yeah. It sounds like they've really got that whole lamination thing down.
Yeah.
That's what makes all the layers, right?
Exactly. It takes a lot of work, you know. You need skill and patience for that.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of time out, Paris mentioned Pichard, too.
Oh, yeah.
They said the croissants have the right kind of flaky, whatever that means.
All right. I love how specific they get with the descriptions.
Me too. So what's the verdict? Pichard, worth a visit.
Oh, definitely. Time Out says their pastries have this amazing buttery smell. And honestly, that's half the experience, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what gets you in the door. Okay, I think it's safe to say we've planned one epic croissant tour of Paris.
Definitely not going to go hungry on this trip.
But really, though, this deep dive, it wasn't just about finding good croissants.
Right.
It's about appreciating the art of it all.
I know. The tradition, all that work that goes into something so simple.
Exactly. We went from classic croissants to like the really inventive ones, talking about butter, flakiness, even the best time of day to eat them.
It's a whole world, you know.
And to our listeners, consider this your official invitation to have your own Parisian croissant adventure. Go try all these places we talked about.
Yeah. And remember, this is just the beginning. There are so many boulangeries in Paris. You never know. You might even find your own new favorite spot.
That's the best part. And when you do, send us a postcard. But for now, as you're taking that first bite of a perfect Parisian croissant, think about this. How do you think this deep dive, this look into Parisian baking, might change how you see and enjoy pastries wherever you are?